The containment alarm screamed through the research station's corridors, red lights pulsing in rhythm with Kate's racing heart. She pressed herself against the cold metal wall, her tablet still clutched in trembling hands. Somewhere in the labyrinth of passages, the Apex had escaped. The Apex. Even the name sent shivers down her spine. It was a creature pulled from a planet so hostile that the survey team had lost 3 members just collecting it. 12 feet of obsidian scales, 6 razor-clawed limbs, and a jaw that could bite through reinforced steel. The galaxy's most perfect predator, now loose on a station with 47 souls aboard. "Kate, where are you?" Joseph's voice crackled through her comm device. "Section 7 near the biology labs," she whispered, as if the creature might hear her through the metal walls. "Joseph, it came right through the electromagnetic barriers. Nothing should be able to—" A metallic screech cut her off. Down the corridor, something massive moved in the shadows. Kate's breath caught. The Apex emerged into the flickering light, and it was more terrifying than any hologram could capture. Its eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle, glowed with an intelligence that made her blood run cold. This wasn't just a predator. This was a calculating killer. The creature's head swiveled toward her, and Kate knew she was dead. She'd seen the footage of what it did to the containment team on its home world. There would be no escape, no mercy, no, "Hey, over here, you ugly bastard." Joseph stood at the far end of the corridor, having appeared from a maintenance shaft. He held nothing but a plasma cutter, a tool, not a weapon, and wore his standard engineering coveralls. He looked absurdly small compared to the alien monster. Joseph, no. Kate screamed, but he was already moving. The Apex pivoted with frightening speed, abandoning Kate to focus on this new target. Joseph ran, and the creature pursued, its claws scarring the metal floor with each thunderous step. They disappeared around a corner, and Kate forced her legs to move, following the sounds of destruction. She found them in the cargo bay, a vast space filled with supply containers stacked 3 high. Joseph had climbed atop them, leaping from one to another with the Apex in relentless pursuit. But he wasn't trying to escape. He was leading it somewhere, the airlock. Kate realized, pulling up the base schematics on her tablet. Joseph was herding it toward the emergency airlock, but the Apex was learning. It stopped chasing and instead began to circle, cutting off Joseph's escape routes. Its 3 eyes tracked every movement, every breath. Saliva dripped from its mandibles as it prepared to strike. Joseph stood on the highest container, nowhere left to run. The Apex coiled its powerful legs, ready to pounce. Then Joseph did something Kate would never forget. He didn't cower. He didn't beg. He stood tall, looked the creature directly in its alien eyes, and spoke. "I know you understand me," Joseph said, his voice steady. "The linguist said your species has proto-language centers. You're not just an animal." The Apex hesitated, its head tilting slightly. "You're scared," Joseph continued. "Taken from your world, cage, studied. I'd be angry too. I'd want to hurt the things that hurt me." Kate's hands flew across her tablet, accessing the xenobiology files. She pulled up the cultural analysis notes, largely theoretical, mostly ignored by the containment team who'd treated the Apex like a simple beast. There, a notation about dominance displays, about submission rituals, about honor. "Joseph," she called out. "Show it your scars." Joseph glanced at her, confused, then understanding dawned. Slowly, never breaking eye contact with the Apex, he pulled up his left sleeve. His arm was a roadmap of survival. Burns from the plasma fire on Europa Station. Radiation scars from the solar flare that nearly killed him. Claw marks from a colony world's predator that he'd fought off with bare hands to save a child. Each scar was a story. Each mark was a battle survived. The Apex went utterly still. Its eyes focused on Joseph's arm, scanning every line, every mark. Its head lowered slightly. "We're survivors, you and I," Joseph said softly. "We've both fought. We've both bled. We've both earned our place in this universe." The creature's posture changed. The aggressive coil relaxed. Its claws retracted slightly into their sheaths. Then, impossibly, the Apex lowered its massive head. It was a bow. Slight, but unmistakable. Kate's tablet pinged with a translation from the station's AI, working frantically through the Apex's body language. Warrior recognizes warrior. Honor to honor. No hunt between those who have proven themselves. Joseph slowly climbed down from the container. The Apex watched but didn't move. When Joseph reached the floor, he stood at his full height, still dwarfed by the creature, and placed his fist over his heart in a gesture of respect. The apex touched one massive claw to its own chest, mirroring the gesture. Over the next hour, with Kate translating and Joseph communicating through gestures and respect, they guided the apex back to a modified containment area. Not a cage this time, but a habitat. Not a prisoner, but a guest. As the creature settled into its new space, it turned back one final time to Joseph. Its three eyes met his two, and in that moment, Kate understood something profound. Humanity hadn't conquered the stars through superior weapons or technology. They'd done it through something far more powerful. The ability to recognize sentience in all its forms, to offer respect even to those who could destroy them, and to bridge the gap between species through the universal language of honor. The apex had bowed not because it feared Joseph, but because he had seen it, truly seen it, as more than a monster, and in the vast, cold universe sometimes being seen as the most powerful thing of all. 3 weeks later, when the xenobiologists finally established full communication with the apex, its first translated words were, "The human Joseph, warrior, friend." Kate smiled, watching Joseph teach the creature to play chess through the observation window. Leave it to humans to make friends with the galaxy's deadliest predator. That was humanity's true superpower. Not strength, not intelligence, but the stubborn, impossible ability to find common ground with anything that breathed. The end.